Anybody want to know how a planter works? Stay tuned and I'm going to let you know. Hey guys, welcome back. The weekend ended up turning into spring cleaning. So I cleaned out another building that we have here, the barn actually. You can see it out the window behind me. So I cleaned that out, and then it kind of ended up being a mess of a whole bunch of other stuff. But we've got a few things going on today. I've got to move some equipment around. We got seed getting delivered. I got to move all our chemical around. Yeah, so first things first though, I got to grease up the skid. So I'm going to do that and then go unload some seed actually at the neighbors. And then I'm going to take you guys through the planter, show you how that works. So stay tuned. We'll see ya. So I've got all this chemical out here that I got to get moved because I want to pull the planter out, unfold it, get it pulled in here. That way it's easy to work on, which involves moving the sprayer and everything else. So what do I need? The pallet forks. Of course, I parked the mower in front of it. This wouldn't start the other day. I had to put the battery charger on it. Hopefully it starts now. Okay, so got our seed delivery taken care of. I got the 30/20 out already. Basically, I got to move some stuff around. So I want to get the planter in here all unfolded so we can go through, run all the row units, make sure that everything is working right, make sure that we don't have any problems that we can try to foresee at this point. Because the last thing we want to do is pull out there, first day of planting, try to get going, and then boom, we're stuck. So the goal is try to get everything moved so that I can get that pulled in here, unfolded, and get it so that we can work on it. So, yeah. Figured I should probably check tires. I know I've got some low ones back here. So I'll check those, make sure tire pressures are all up to stuff first. Then I'll unfold it, move all this chemical around, make sense of this place. But now here's the question, is where did our good inflator go? This is why you should keep things clean. Don't be like me. Keep things clean, and you can find your stuff when you want it, and you don't waste a whole bunch of time looking for stuff. So don't be like me. Today's lesson. Well, I can't find it, so I'm gonna use the old one. But now I have to hold it. That seems like a lot of work. Would they put the tire stems on the outside? Of course not. And I've got it behind that, so I've got to move it. That's my luck today. Oh well. What about this one? Bingo! We can get that one done. That one? Probably. And that one we can. So, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. Just remembered where the old one, or where the good one is. It's over in the barn. The tires on the mower were flat, so we had to pump those up. So really, I don't feel as bad about being messy, but I still feel kind of bad. Bingo. Makes it a lot easier. Don't have to hold it on there. And I got this fancy gauge that I just let off. I got a long ways to go. Maybe we should time lapse this. Got the planter out, got it unfolded. Now, I gotta move a bunch of chemical around so that I can pull it in. All right, now, time to see if I can get that planter in without hitting anything. What do you think the odds are? I'm gonna go pretty low. Good so far. We got close. Not quite. The ladder hangs off the back quite a ways. A little farther. There we go. We're in. So this is our 1770 NT John Deere corn planter. Well, we use it for corn and soybeans planter. 16 row. It has been retrofitted to a high-speed system, and I'll kind of go over that and how that all works. Anybody who watched the last video, how's that look for a bracket for holding those up? Pretty good, right? We actually had a place in town make it for us. A friend of the family owns a manufacturing business in town. They fabbed that up for us. I like it. I think it'll do the job. I've got to pull it off and paint it at some point, but we'll get there. All right, so how do we go from seed up in these tanks to seed in the ground? Okay, this planter is a little different. This tank right here, don't worry about that tank. That's for insecticide. I'll go over that some other time. So what we have right down here, there's a generator along with all of these other hookups. And what that does is that allows the tractor to generate electricity, for one, because this is an electric drive planter, and it allows it to be connected so that it knows what the planter's doing and the planter knows what the tractor's doing. If you notice, right up there, there's a globe. So what we do is we run active implement guidance. So we have a LaForge hitch right here. There's a globe on the tractor, and there's a globe on the planter. And what's happening is the two of them are working together, and it will move this hitch as needed from side to side to ensure that we are staying on our RTK line. That's the theory. We've had a little bit of a hard time implementing it, but we're getting there. And I think this year we'll get it. We had a problem last year. We had it working. So this thing right here is called a pedometer. And what that does is it measures the angle that this is at, and it lets the hitch know how far it's been adjusted from side to side. That got ripped out last year at one point, and then our hitch just went to the right and wanted to stay there, so we started planting without it until we figured out what was wrong. Once we got figured out what was wrong, it started working again. So hopefully this year, barring anything crazy, we should be good to go with that. All right, so what this is a CCS, so a Central Commodity Station Planter. We have the seed tanks right up here. So we put seed in those tanks. These hoses coming out of the bottom, these suckers right here. If you look underneath there, you can see how those hoses are. There's a vacuum that pulls seed from those, and each one of those hoses runs out to one of these row units, okay? That's how the seed gets from there to the row unit. So I've got a few of these broke down into different stages here. So right here is the tube that the seed comes in, and it drops into this box, and then from this box it falls down and it fills the bottom of this. So this plate is on here, and if you look at this one, you can see this is the cover that goes over it. This right here is pulling vacuum as well. So as this rotates around, the vacuum is sucking seed up onto the back of this plate. This plate is rotating, and right here there's a brush belt, and that brush belt is what takes the seed down and actually plants it. So right here you can see this brush belt. This is the electric motor that turns this. There's also one that comes in right over here that's turning this brush belt. So this brush belt is one of those things that we have to inspect. You can see how this one sat over the winter, and we've kind of got a bad spot there. But if we work it a little bit, I think it's going to be all right. So here's the back side of that. You can see right here is where that goes, and that spins, and that's spinning that disc in there that is picking up the seed with that vacuum, running it around, and this is picking it up. So as you're out planting, this is grabbing that seed, running it down, and then shooting it out the bottom here. What that does is it ensures that we're getting better spacing. So before, what we would do is we'd have seed tubes, and that seed would come around and it'd fall, and gravity would do the job of putting that seed down into the ground. Now we're able to plant faster because we are not relying on gravity to do that. Also, we can meter it more precisely because of the use of electric drive. So all in all, it's a really neat system. The planter has been wonderful. Our spacing has been awesome. We get really even emergence out of it. It's a great machine. So this is how the seed gets to the furrow. How's the furrow made? Right down here, you can see these disc blades. So these kind of come to a point here, and these are disc openers. And what they're gonna do is, as they go along the ground, right here, these wheels are riding along the ground, and these are making a furrow. So if you look down the back of it here, you can see how they open up, and then that's right where that brush belt comes in. So as that brush belt comes in, that's where it's dropping the seed. These right back here are the closing wheels. So the closing wheels are pushing the dirt over top of the furrow. So you have your disc openers that are opening it up, and then you roll over, you drop the seed in. We also drop insecticide or starter fertilizer, and these are the closing wheels that are actually closing that seed trench. And that's pretty much how the planter works. It looks really complicated, especially when you walk up and you see all of these hoses and tubes and wires and everything else going on. But if you understand the basic premise, the bulk of these machines are exactly the same. We're using air to move seed to the wheel. The wheel is spinning. We're using air to suck the seed to the wheel, and then we're using a method of extracting that seed, dropping it into the dirt. It's really not bad. Now, that being said, when you're out in the field, the more complicated that these planters have gotten, the more problems that you have. This machine has been really good to us so far, but there is a possibility to have more issues because of how complicated it is. So right here, this is how you set your depth that you want to plant. So as you move this, it regulates how far these wheels will move up and down. And this is how you set the pressure on your closing wheels. So if you want more, you move down, the spring gets tighter, it pushes down harder. So that's our planter. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Like always, subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date as far as what we have going on. I got a feeling it's probably going to be a good week or so. We had a good chance of rain in for tomorrow. They've kind of backed off on that a little bit, so I'm hoping that that will kind of stay at bay and maybe we can get things dried up. The sun was out today. It's slipped behind some clouds now, but we have a little bit of wind and it's warming up. So I think we're drying a few things, but we definitely have quite a bit to do yet. But yeah, hopefully we can get in the field soon. I'll let you guys know when we do. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.